my opinions, my views might not be what you think it to be. So why don't you call in and let's learn together? Let's grow together and we can move forward together. So tonight's program, I dedicate it to all of you out there as always. So sit back, listen, enjoy. Let's take this journey together. We're going to take a musical break, and when we come back, we're going to dive straight into the topic of the day. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. sound of my voice, I'd like to welcome you to Heartbeat, a special program dedicated to all the lovers out there, from the young lovers to the old flames. This is a show, a program, a specially designed program for you, exclusive to Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM. And on Heartbeat, we like to tackle matters of the heart. We like to tackle the issues in our relationships. We try to learn from it. We try to celebrate love and also understand love at the same time. And of course, as always, my name is Bucci, and like a deck of cards, I am your Jack of Hearts. And in the immortal words of Charlie Chaplin, I'm a tramp, a gentleman, a poet, a dreamer, a lonely fellow, always hopeful of romance and an adventure. You can actually join us, follow us live on our social media handles, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, YouTube. Just type in Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM and follow us live. You can be part of the studio. You can actually watch this video live. And if there's a previous program, if there's a previous airing of any program throughout the day, throughout the week, anytime, you can actually go to our social media pages and actually go back and rewatch some of those older programs, or even this one going on right now live. So go out there, like, subscribe, and join us. And also leave a comment, share with your friends. Feedback from you is the most important thing, so that we know what you think and we can be here to serve you better as the first human rights radio station in the world. Now, to the business at hand. Like I said, I get this question all the time. People walk up to me and they ask me this question, and I've thought about it. I've thought about it severally, and sometimes I don't know how to answer, but tonight I want to make an attempt to answer this. And that question I get, especially from young people, well, I won't say young because I'm young myself, especially from single people, the question goes, how do you know if he or she is the one? How do you know? You get it in different formats, you get it in different phrasings, but it's still essentially the same question. How do you know this is the one? How do you know this is the right person for you? And sometimes I think about it. Sometimes I just say it comes down to instincts. You'll just know. Love reveals it to you. But I think when you think about it, when you dissect it further, it goes a lot deeper than that. I mean, I think it's the ultimate relationship question, in the sense that everybody wants that right person. Everybody wants that Mr. Right or Mrs. Right. They want that person they can call their wife, the person that is their life partner, because choosing a life partner is probably one of the hardest decisions, or probably one of the most crucial decisions you're going to make. This is somebody that you're going to, God willing, spend the rest of your life with. This is somebody you're going to make critical life decisions on. This is somebody that you're going to depend on in the hardest of times. This is somebody that you're going to look to in times of plenty and in times of leniency, in times of this is somebody that you're going to argue with, you're going to fight with, you're going to do a lot of things with this person in your lifetime. You're going to love this person, you're going to hate this person at some time, but essentially you want to maybe even raise a family, start a family with this person. How do you know if this person is the one? And a lot of people tend to shy away from this question. A lot of people, get confused or get scared and don't know what to do, especially when it comes down to this. And basically, one of the things I like to say, or things I like to put out there for people, is it's instinct. It comes down to instinct. And, it's just understanding that, that instinct, that inner voice in you. Now, don't get me wrong. You have to, if you're already married, or if you're in a long-term relationship, you have to also understand the interest in this kind of a question, because at some point in time, you also had to face that question. Sometimes I say, you know what, why not talk to your parent, or talk to somebody who's been married for some time, or in a loving relationship. Why not ask them? Now, everybody comes to this junction. Every young person, every older person, whoever it is, you come to this question. How do you know if he or she is the one? Now, to me, in a sense, it's either the hardest question or the easiest thing in the world. For me, it's one of those things. It's either the hardest or the easiest thing in the world to meet the right person and start a life together. Because essentially, for me, in my own thinking, it comes down to instincts. That you know when you're comfortable with that person, when it's the right person, that person brings out the best in you, and you do the same in return. Remember, relationships are reciprocal. It has to come. It's not just how you feel about it. It's also how that person feels about it. It's not about how it affects you. It's how it affects that person. And when you strike that right balance, you just know instinct now kicks in. Now, in my life, I wouldn't say I have the best, especially when it comes to relationships. I won't say I have the sharpest instincts. I don't think anybody's actually born with the gift of knowing. It comes from time. It comes from experience. You date someone, you go out, you have a different experience or a different feel. You have your friends around you and their own experiences and feels and relationships. These things inform you. They teach you, they make you grow. Now, it's either you let these experiences sharpen you and sharpen your instincts, or narrow it down to know exactly what you're looking for in your life, or you just become ignorant. And you know what they say, ignorance is bliss. You don't learn from these lessons. You don't learn from others around you. You don't learn from society, and you become ignorant in your own, and you just go into these relationships and you get hurt and you wonder why it happened like this. And, it's that vicious cycle. You see, the thing is, it even comes down to even like friendship. Even when you're making your friends, how do you know this person rhymes with who you are? It's your instinct. It's that affinity to that person. The same thing also should apply in looking for that romantic partner. You see, you can have a talent for picking out good friends. That's you have a talent for picking out people who are close to you, that support you, that stand with you. That same talent translates into a romantic relationship, because to be honest, I think it was a friend of mine that said a romantic relationship is just like, it's like having your best friend be with you at all points in times in your life. It's like that person is essentially your closest companion and the best friend that you can actually think of. A friend who knows you well enough and recognizes that potential in you, that wants the best for you, that sees past who you are and knows who you are at your core, that unselfishly wants to look out for you or is looking out for your best interest. A romantic relationship carries those same qualities. They translate into the same thing. Now, the thing is, even if you don't feel as in touch with that intuition, that inner intuition in you, the truth is that in love and in friendship, your heart generally will tell you if this is right for you, if this is the right path. Now, the truth is, nowadays, many people don't know or choose not to listen to their hearts. You tend to go with you go with your mind. You tend to go with what you see, that flash, that dash. Oh, he's a good provider. Oh, she seems like she's a nice person. We tend to go with what we see, but we don't tend to listen to our inner selves. Sometimes we might even go with what family says and what friends say. But in the end, it has to come down to you, your inner heart, your inner intuition. What is that voice saying? Sometimes you have to just go to a quiet place, Sit down and listen. Listen to your inner voice. Some might call it prayer, but I believe in that inner voice. Now, sometimes you get confused or even overstimulated in this kind of situation. You don't give your inner voice the respect it deserves. Now, if I'm talking about you, what I'm describing here is you. Like I said, my best advice for you is to find somewhere quiet, somewhere serene. Make sure that you have no distractions. Or when I mean distractions, if it's to put your phone aside and just be calm and listen to yourself. The truth is, we all have an inner voice. Whatever you want to call it, the voice of God, the voice of intuition, the voice, whatever it is, it's inside you. And like I said, it's experiences that sharpen your inner voice. The truth is, we all have this intuition in us. As mammals placed on this planet, every mammal, including Homo sapiens, human beings, we all have intuition. It is what has brought us to the brink of our survival. It is what has motivated us. It's what has given us intuition. It's what has moved us as a species, as a people. We all have that intuition. Sometimes when we meet new people, maybe in a relationship context, we tend to silence that. We tend to just focus on our feelings and silence that inner voice. But sometimes you have to go into yourself and listen. Pick up on those telltale signs. Listen. What is this thing saying to me? What is that person saying to me? What are their actions? What is that reaction? You have to gauge these things. It's very important, especially when you're making that kind of decision, a very important decision like, is this person the one I want to spend the rest of my life with? Now, it's not something that you're going to get immediately. You just go to that quiet place and sit down. No, it's not. Don't be discouraged. It's not going to come right away. But practice, continuous practice of just thinking things through, mulling things over, going with your gut feeling. My father will always say your instincts are your first respondent. Your instincts are your first mechanisms of survival. That first knee-jerk reaction, that inner feeling, that inner thought, that first spark. And most times when you go back, before you make some sort of decision in your life, it's usually that first thought that tends to probably even be the right way. Even let's say you don't choose to listen to it, but if you go back and you look at it, you see that maybe that was even probably the right answer. So don't be afraid to examine it from all sides. Let yourself feel the feelings that come up as you explore. You see, there are parts out there in you that maybe be anxious or afraid. Are you truly interested in looking at this relationship? If I critically analyze my situation right now, does it mean that I don't love this person, or does it mean no? Don't be afraid. Look at it from all angles. Examine it. See, the answers that will come up, those answers that you get from your inner intuition, will help you grow your emotional intelligence. We talked about emotional intelligence a months ago. We talked about emotional intelligence. One of these days, I'm going to also probably rehash that topic because it's actually very important. That emotional intelligence, especially when it comes to matters of the heart, is key. A lot of people, they may be book smart, but they're not emotionally intelligent. But emotional intelligence in this social kind of context is key. You see, when you meet a person and you're attracted to him or her, there's so many things happening all at once. If a person makes a good impression, you might think that he or she seems like such a good match on paper, that you ought to want to be with this person, with he or she as your partner. You want this person in your life. Even your own intuition sometimes might be telling you something's not quite right about this situation. You see, when it comes down to physical attraction to somebody, maybe that can even overwhelm your own instincts. You see, there are other types of attraction. You have to, in that moment, you have to realize there are other types of attraction that can throw your intuition out of sync. The thing is, it's important that you know yourself as you know your partner. Don't be afraid to go beneath the surface. Don't be afraid to scratch up the layers, to go deeper, to dig deep and figure things out. Because once you make that decision, you take that leap, it's a huge leap. And there is no pain like emotional pain. There isn't. So wouldn't it be wise for you to take that time and actually get to know this person? You're entrusting them with your heart. You're entrusting them with your feelings. You're giving a part of yourself. It's like offering your soul. Wouldn't it be important to at least go through, mull over your decision and know where you stand on a certain thing with this person? Now, you see, to truly succeed in a love match or finding that the one, the right person, you have to get to know your partner intimately. This is key here. If you're listening to me, I hope if you have a pen and paper, write this down. You have to truly succeed, to really know or to move forward, to really succeed in a love match or finding the one, you must get to know your partner intimately, not sexually, but intimately. Not sexually, but intimately. You see, observe their daily life. See how they respond to stress and aggravation. Are they gracious or are they impatient? Do they make that extra effort with other people to feel safe? Do they respect other people? Do they respect their feelings? Are they lazy? Are they grumpy? Are they irritable? These are things. People can be successful, can be attractive, they can be great conversationalists, they can be good looking. But then, that is all just dressing, that's all just clothes. And we all know this. Like they say, the clothes do not make the man. It is the man that makes the clothes. So if you're looking at the window dressing, if you're just window shopping and you're seeing, oh, he's tall, dark, and handsome. Oh, look at him. He looks good. Oh, look at his bank account. Oh, look at the car he's driving. Oh, look at her. Oh, she's beautiful. Oh, she dresses well. Oh, if you're looking at all those window dressing things, if you're looking at that, then you're on the wrong path to finding that one, that love match. There's a difference between infatuation and love. We say it here all the time. Love is calm. Passion is temperamental. Love is calm. You see, you have to go below the surface. You have to go, not just skin, you have to go beneath the skin, under. Find out the crux of that person. Know this person intimately. Understand who they are. And at the same time, let them know you. I think this part is also key. It's not about you finding out and knowing and you can't rush these things. You have to let them know you and you know them. You can't be demanding I want to know this person. I want to know this. Who is this? Why are you not answering your call? You can't be wanting to know everything about this person and then not revealing who you are. Not being your authentic self. It's a two-way street, like we said. Relationships are two ways. You have to be giving as much as you're receiving. You have to open yourself up to let that person know you so that you can know that person. You can't want to know this person and then keep things behind. It doesn't work like that. You see, the truth is, if these kind of people, this kind of window dressing people that are successful, attractive, great conversationalists, but are not even comfortable in their own skin, are not happy inside. They look like, I call it the social media life, that Facebook life. You go on Instagram, they always have the nice looking selfies, they dress well, they're going to the nicest parties, they look like they're the life of the party. It's that social media life. It is not who you are. If you're judging a person's character or judging them by their Facebook or their Instagram feed, you're going to fail. You have to know it's not just the crust of the person. You have to get into the inner loaf of that person. Sometimes what you see on the outside does not reflect what's on the inside. Now, I promise you this. If you're judging or looking at just what is on the outside, those people will find a way to even make you more miserable. Because misery doesn't like to be alone. Misery looks for company. Now, what is attractive for me? What I find attractive in a person is the inner person, the real you. And the truth is, that's for me. And maybe what I find attractive, of course, one man meat is not a man's poison. What I find attractive, you probably do not. We all have the things that attract us. We all have the things that we are drawn to. Of course, we're not all agreeable. But the thing is, those little things that you can't tolerate, that you know, because like I said, it's knowing yourself. And we say this a lot on this program. You have to know yourself. The fundamental thing, I think we had a topic about self-love, beginning of the year, self-love. Knowing yourself, that is the truest form of love. Understanding and knowing your likes and dislikes, your boundaries, your limitations, loving yourself fully. It gives you that bridge to love someone else, because you cannot love a person if you don't love yourself, if you don't have it in you. Love comes from within. So those little things in what we're talking about, those little things that in turn, let's say, set your teeth on edge, those things that annoy you or aggravate you, those are also very important things to recognize. So if somebody doesn't check or doesn't tick off those boxes, those things that set you off, if they tick them off, then that's not an ideal partner for you. You see, when people ask me how they find the right person, who's the ideal person for them, I always say this. Aside from instincts, I tell them this. I tell them they must first understand who they are, who you are, and what you're looking for before you find that right person. You have to have an idea, a sense of it, which is where your instincts come in, your intuition comes in. How do you find the right one if you don't know what exactly you want? I think it was Albert Einstein. I mean, it's not a fair assessment, but this is something he said. Einstein once said, the greatest mystery left on earth to solve is what women want. And that will forever remain a mystery because women themselves don't know what they want. Now, bear with me on this. I feel it's not a very fair assessment, especially to women, to ladies, especially now. But there is some truth in it. You have to know what you want. You have to understand who you are and what you want before you can find that right person. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are things that have to be brushed off, especially when you're looking for the one. Nobody's perfect. You have to live with those small imperfections, but they're fundamental core values, fundamental characteristics about a person that you must check off. If maybe you're a religious person and the person isn't a religious person and religion is important to you, religion is important to everybody. And on an idealistical point, if the two of you don't rhyme on that front, you'll probably end up having more frictions. That's for an example. I'm not saying it works for everybody. I'm not saying, I mean, there are people that have two different denominations and creeds and live happily with one another. But then it's still an important checkpoint. You see, as it happens throughout life, there's things that, of course, you learn to live with, things you learn to tolerate, and things you cannot tolerate at all. Things that are fundamental to you, to who you are, to your personality, to your character, that you cannot walk away from. These things need to be checked off. You need to understand what they are to you and what they mean to you, so that you yourself know what it is essentially and know what you're looking for. You can't fall in love with tall, dark, and handsome, and then you have to, the thing is, you can't fall in love with the outside. You must fall in love with the inside, like I said. And always, like I said also, people have different qualities that they hope to find in their ideal partner. But you have to, for me, I'm a firm believer in making a list. Understand, make a list, a checklist, a mental list. You can either grab a piece of paper or just have a mental checklist. But you must also, in that point, when you're making a list, you can't make an impossible list, because nobody's perfect. There must be things you are willing to live with and things you're not willing to tolerate, and things that you are willing to tolerate. Just as you want to find that perfect person, that person also has to find you. And nobody's perfect. So you have to also compensate, add that to your list, and make that part of something that you compensate on. Nobody's perfect. So if you're out there and you're looking for that special person, trust your instinct, trust your gut feelings. Put that in your forefront. Make that list, and don't go for surface. Get to know that person in depth, in deep. Understand who you are, your core values, and what you want for yourself, and what you're willing to live with and what you're willing not to live with. These are the things you must put into perspective, and you must get to know that person, and also open yourself up for that person to get to know you. Don't pretend. Don't shy away. Don't try and put up that, like I said, the Facebook life, that Facebook cutout of being the perfect person and be the real you, the crux of you, the good things, the bad things, the ugly things. These things must be open, so that that person too can get to know you and you get to know that person. And in that, find that love that could bind the two of you together. This is still Human Rights Radio, 101.1 FM. We're going to take a musical break, and when we come back, I'm going to open up the lines to you out there for you to call in. Share your thoughts on what you think about what we talked about this evening. Or if there's some kind of situation in your relationship you're looking for an answer to. We here on Heartbeat cater to matters of the heart. So open your heart tonight and let us be the ones to help you find that peace, that love, and let us nurture it together. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. to Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM. If you can hear the sound of my voice, you're on to Heartbeat, a special program dedicated to all the lovers out there. Right now, I want to open up the lines to you out there for you to call in and share your thoughts. What is troubling you this evening? What relationship problem or issue in your relationship are you looking for an answer to? Or if you just have a general question that you just want to get off your chest, right now, this is the time, this is your forum, and this is your program. This is that avenue for you to call in, share. Like they say, a problem shared is half solved. This could be that one place for you to find that solution to that answer, to that question, to your relationship that you've been looking for. The number to call is still 081 89 99 1011. I'll take it again. 081 89 99 1011. Or maybe you have a question or a thought or something you want to add to the topic we talked about this evening. You can also call in and share your thoughts. Hello, good evening. Hello. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, you're speaking with Prosper.
With who?
I'm speaking with Wilson Prosper.
Okay, Prosper.
Yeah.
Good evening, Prosper. Where are you calling me from?
I'm calling you from Jabi.
How is Jabi this evening, my brother? Or this morning?
It's fine.
All right, talk to me. What can I do for you this evening?
Yeah, I am so the relationship. This same question you just asked, the same question I just asked when I was in church today.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like problems share, the problems solved. Okay? I basically met a lady in church, and she's an usher.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? In church, and she was standing right in front. And there's this contact within me. I looked at her, and she was looking at me, and my heart went for her, seriously, to be honest. Okay. And I looked at her, I saw something in my heart I've never seen before. So I was like, how am I going to do this?
Okay.
I was asking myself, is this the right person? There are questions in my mind. So at a point, I couldn't even walk up to her and say anything. I just kept doing myself. But every time I looked at her, she looked at me, but nothing like word. So in that kind of relationship, how are you going to go about it?
Okay.
Is it the real person or not the real person?
Well, the truth is, Prosper, I'm going to tell you what my father always tells me. You see, fortune always favors the brave. Now, you saw this person in church and your heart kind of just led you to this person. You have this instant connection or this kind of instant attraction to this person. Now, there is no way you're going to know if this person is the right person unless you go for it. So I want you to, next time, hopefully, the thing is, sometimes we tend to miss out on these kind of opportunities, and then we sit back and we regret, why didn't I go up to her and talk to her? Why didn't I just say hi? There's nothing wrong in just going up to her and saying, hi, hello, good evening. My name is Prosper. What's your name? You know? Just be bold. I'm not saying go up to her and say, you know what, my heart is telling me I'm in love with you. You're the one for me. No, just introduce yourself to her. Start a conversation with her. Maybe exchange phone numbers. Maybe if she's friends on Facebook or WhatsApp, you chat. You start talking from there. Go on a date. That's the way. That's the only way you're going to know if this person is actually the right person for you. You have to take a leap of faith.
Yeah, but the next thing is she's a worker. She works with a pastor's wife. Okay,
even better. So it's not like she's escaped and you're never going to see her again. There's always a second chance for a first impression. So I say go for it. There's nothing wrong in it. There's no harm, no foul. Highest she's going to tell you is I'm not interested or no, but I mean just get to know her as a friend, start talking with her.
Because we're coming to each other, she knows that I'm looking at her. And she is Don't worry, tomorrow I'm going to do that.
Just go up to her. Don't be afraid. See, I understand how it is because everybody's afraid of that rejection. Everybody's afraid of if this person turns me down, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
You know, highest, my friend, a friend of mine will tell you, highest she'll tell you, highest she'll say to you is no. But there's nothing wrong in just walking up to her and say, hi, my name is Prosper. What's your name? Oh, okay. Pleasure to meet you. Just let's talk, talk with her. I mean, just strike up a conversation. Just, get to know this person. Talk with her. From there, from getting to know her.
I'm going to do that tomorrow.
All right, Prosper. All right.
Then, I told you about the song I'm trying to work on.
Yes, you did.
The past topic you were tweeting, I told you I need to chat up with you so that I can get it. But I've not gotten a call.
I've been really busy. I'm sorry about that. I've just I've had a lot of stuff on my table. I will get back to you, Prosper. Don't worry about that. But
you have my number, right?
Yes, you sent it to the number. You sent it to the station line, and I copied it. I have it. I will get in contact with you ASAP. Okay.
Okay. So I want you to play me. Do you play music?
Sometimes, yeah. I'll have to talk to the producer to actually go through the library. I think you sent a message. I think you sent. Is it you that sent a message about Jamal Lyons Good Enough from Empire? Was that you?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I will check for it. Okay. I'm talking to my producer now. If she finds it up, we'll queue it up for you. Okay.
Yeah, I'm playing that song, and that song is for her.
All right then.
To her. If she's listening.
All right then. All right, Prosper. Yeah. Just be bold, be confident, be bold. Women respond a lot to confidence. Talk to her tonight.
In fact, I'll get back to you.
All right then. No problem, Prosper. All right then. Have a pleasant evening. Take care.
Yeah.
All right. This is still Human Rights Radio, 101.1 FM, and this is Heartbeat, and my name is Bucci, and like a deck of cards, I am your Jack of Hearts. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, my brother. What's your name and where are you calling me from?
Oh, this is Charles calling from Airport Road.
How is Airport Road this evening, my brother?
Fine, Airport Road is cold.
All right. I hope this cold weather isn't chasing you. I hope it's really cold tonight. All right, my brother, talk to me. What can I do for you this evening?
Yeah, fine. Please, I have a problem here.
Okay. Can you speak up a little louder so that we can hear you, okay?
Okay, I have some challenge here.
All right, talk to me.
Okay. I know a friend. I was a friend with someone some couple of years ago, 5 to 4 years to be precise. It's been a while we've not seen.
Yes.
But then we happened to see this towards the end of last year.
All right.
Yeah, before when I saw her, she looked very changed. She's no longer the person I used to know to me.
Okay.
So that though we were not close friends, we were not having anything in common, we were just high friends.
Yeah.
So I happened to see her, and she really looked changed from the person I know.
Okay. Hello. Oh, looks like we lost that call. Oh, my brother, if you're out there, please call me back. I was actually getting into what you were saying, but it looks like the line just cut. Looks like some sort of network issue. The number is still 081 8999 1011. Hello, good evening. Hello. Whoa. Could you turn down the volume of your radio set, please?
Okay.
Please do, so that you can hear me and I can hear you, all right?
Hello, good evening, sir.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, sir.
What's your name and where are you calling me from?
My name is Joy. I'm calling from Suleja.
Joy from Suleja. How's Suleja this evening, my sister?
We thank God for everything.
All right, then. Talk to me. What can I do for you this evening?
My own place, I need a God-fearing man.
Okay.
So,
all right.
a man who is always there for me and love me.
Okay. All right.
So,
What you're going to do for me, my sister, to text your name and your details on what you're looking for. Just text your name and your details to this line, to this number. All right? Text your name and your details to this number, and I'll see what I can do to get you that hookup. Is that okay?
Okay.
All right.
Is it now? Have you?
Yeah, text it.
Time?
No, text it to the line. Text it to now. Text it now. Okay?
Okay.
All right, then. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, then. Have a pleasant evening. Thank you.
Yes.
All right. Yes, we talked about tonight how to know if he or she is the one. And one of the things we highlighted is going with your gut instinct, because that instinct, that inner voice in you is usually, it's your intuition, and your intuition is informed. It's that inner voice in you that looks out for you, that looks for the things that best suit you, that is good for you. So we need to, one of the things we highlighted is needing to always recognize that inner voice and listening to it and not getting blinded by things that we see on the surface. Hello, good evening. Hello. Hello, good evening. Could you speak up? Could you speak up a bit louder so we can hear you? I can hardly hear you. Looks like he ended the call. Please, if you're going to call in, please speak up. And also turn down the volume of your radio set so that you can hear me and I can hear you and we can communicate. Hello, good evening. Hello. Network. The number still to call is still 081 8999 1011. Yes, we're talking about the inner voice, especially if you're a single person and you're looking out for that special person, looking out for the one. Okay, let me take this call. Hello, good evening. Oh, hello. Hello, good evening. Good evening. Welcome to Heartbeats.
Thank you.
What's your name and where are you calling me from?
I'm Favor.
Your name? Pardon? Favor.
Yeah.
Where's Favor calling me from?
Jabi.
How is Jabi this evening, my sister?
Fine, real fine.
All right, then. Talk to me. What can I do for you this evening?
I want to ask a question.
You want to ask a question?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, go ahead.
I want to ask, is it like a lady should go through a guy? I wonder when she has feelings of a person. I know in our society, it's somehow.
Okay.
People look at it somehow.
Okay.
So,
All right.
I don't know.
Favor, let me understand your question. You're asking, is it right for a lady to ask a guy out?
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Okay. All right. Like you said, our society, society tells women that they need to be more demure. They need. No, I don't.
To the radio.
You want to? Okay, no problem. No problem. There's no problem there.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Favor. Just listen, and I'll give you my best answer. Okay.
Okay.
All right then. Thank you. All right, now, Favor. Like you said, your question is it right for a lady to ask out a guy? Now, in our society, of course, that kind of thing is frowned upon. It said, women should be more demeanor, and they should be more demure. And asking a guy out is sort of like making yourself seem cheap. But I think, in my experience, and as a guy, I think I don't know how many guys will agree with me on this, but a lot of men tend to respect women who know what they want, who are independent thinkers and know what they want. Now, I'm not going to say asking a guy out, just go up to him and say, hey, I want to date you. Because to be honest, men, we are stupid. I say it proudly. When it comes to matters of the heart, we are slow. We are stupid. And sometimes a guy might not take you, might take your own intentions for granted. But there are people out there, they're more mature minds who can appreciate and respect a woman to actually come out and say how she feels. Now, I think my best advice I can give you in this kind of situation is, if you like someone, you want, don't be afraid to show that person that this is how you feel about them. You shouldn't be afraid of that, because you don't want to live a life of regret. And maybe even that person, it probably even emboldens that person to come towards you. But you should not be afraid to show that person how you feel. I think that's probably the best legitimate answer that I can give. Like I said, it's all subject to the individual, but I think that's the best answer I can give in that regard. Hello, good evening. Hello? Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
All right, good evening.
Yeah, it's so first.
All right.
Yeah. The first time I called, I didn't tell you I'm a first time caller.
Okay. All right, first time caller. Thank you for calling. I'd give you a bosa or a shout out, but then this is like 12, and I don't want to go and wake up the neighbors and scream too loud.
Okay. So what I'm calling in respect of the last caller right now.
All right. Okay.
There are some guys, okay, what you said is wrong, because you don't say it like that. But there are other guys out there, okay, who basically cannot walk up to lady. They want even if they have training for that lady, they can't just walk up like for today. I could not basically walk up to her. But if there's a lady that says, okay, it's cool for me to ask you guys, then I do it. But it's those stupid men.
Exactly.
It's wrong. But to me, if they are the right guy, I'm going to respect that lady for doing that.
Exactly.
Ask the guy out.
That's the same thing I'm saying. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'll just say, I've never seen that kind of thing happen. So when such thing happens, I'm going to respect that lady for life, because it is something that other lady cannot do.
Of course.
And but other people who don't want to say they're not men. They say,
yes.
like they want to describe them, okay, they'll just say, this lady. But to me, the lady knows. Hello? Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, no, I'm agreeing with you. That's exactly the same thing I'm saying. You see, the thing is, I think, like I said, fortune favors the brave. Now, for a woman to walk up to you and ask you out, I think it's a thing of respect. You should respect a woman who is open and honest enough to come up to you and say, this is how I feel. It's a lesser man, and I agree with you. It is a lesser man and a silly man, an immature man who cannot respect that in a woman. And I agree with you wholeheartedly on this.
Me myself, I want a lady to stay like that. Imagine. But sometimes you just take the leadership.
Exactly.
Listen to me right now. I'm telling you right now. Walk up to that guy and acting up.
Yes.
And after respect, if he thinks your shit, then get him up. He's not
exactly. He's not for you. Exactly. My brother, thank you so much for your contribution.
Yeah.
All right. Have a pleasant evening. Thank you so much.
Don't forget my song, okay?
Yes, my brother. I think I found it and I have it queued up. So just keep listening and I will play it for you, okay?
Okay.
All right, all right. Dedicating it to that special crush at church, and I don't know her name, and hopefully it's going to go well for you, okay? All right, then. Yes, like Prosper said, it is a lesser man who will think down on a lady for actually going out and going for what she wants. I mean, many times you hear us complaining that, she's indecisive. But when she's decisive enough, you say, she's not being modest enough. It's a double standard, and I think it's something we need to frown our faces to. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. Welcome to Heartbeat.
Thank you. I'm calling from Guarimpa.
What's your name?
Onyinye.
Guarimpa. How's Guarimpa this evening, my sister?
Okay, first time caller.
I can't give you a bosa. In fact, I don't want to wake up the neighbors and they'll come and push me out from here. But welcome to the program.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right. Okay, what can I do for you? Talk to me.
I want to take, I may take this of your time, but I want to explain something to you.
All right, go ahead.
I'm in a relationship, but we have done my introduction.
All right, okay.
I met the guy through social media, and that was where we met for the first time. But then I was living in Lagos, then he was living in Abuja.
Okay.
Then it was, let's call it a long distance relationship. But it was last year, December, meeting face to face.
Okay.
So, which after meeting him, I went back to Lagos. So just more of long-term relationship.
Okay.
So after then, if I'm visiting my parents, my people I'm living with will not agree. I then say, okay, it's something I think it's better you come for my introduction so that I can change my location to Abuja so I can know him better. Which he then came for the introduction. After the introduction, then right now I'm staying with him right now.
Okay.
So there are some things he told me about himself. Which when I came close, I found out that those things are lies.
Okay.
Even just simple things, just for him to tell the truth, he see that thing to be a big thing. He lied over it.
Okay.
Which I've even called his parents to explain things to them. They are so angry with him.
Yes.
But when he said he's sorry for those things, another thing, he will still lie again.
Okay.
And the lies continue every day. And as it sounds now, it seems like maybe they had the lies will continue, and I don't even know what to do.
Okay. All right. Onyinye.
So,
I think the writing's on the wall. It's very clear. Now, you've done your introduction, but
yes, sir.
you're not married, are you?
No, not yet.
You're not married. Now,
Yes.
You've expressed this to him, you've expressed this to his parents, but he keeps doing the same thing over and over and over.
Yes.
I don't think if this is something you cannot tolerate and this is something you cannot stand or live with, I think it's time you might have to start reevaluating this relationship. Now, like I said, you've done the introduction, but it doesn't mean you're married. And if it doesn't seem, I mean, you don't want to go down the aisle. I mean, like I said, for better, for worse, this is something that is a contract. This is something that you're going to, it's going to shape your future. And if it's something that you cannot tolerate, I think the best thing to do is actually to sit down and confront this thing head on, head first. Look, darling, baby, whatever he is to you, fiance, this is how I feel. And this is what you keep doing that I do not like. Now, you have to confront it. There's nothing like shying away from it, because in the end, this is the person that you must count on. For better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in love, in health, sickness, everything. This is the person you're going to count on. In the end, I mean, when you get married, they tell you, sometimes you don't get married. It's not about procreation or having children. It's about that companionship, because what if this person can have a child? So you don't have that the connection has to be from both of you. And if he's lying about fundamental things that can hamper your relationship, fundamental things about himself and his character, then that's putting your relationship, or it's not starting your relationship on solid ground. Now, you have to consider this thing very, very carefully. Marriage is a big step. And if you're not confident or comfortable with the situation right now, you might have to just consider walking away from this or giving yourself that distance. Because like I said, I say this all the time. Long distance relationships are very, very hard to maintain. But it has to work if both parties are open and honest with one another. Now that the two of you are together, you're discovering that there are things that were said, or things that were supposed to have been said, or things that he said that are not true. Now, that hampers your relationship, because it now alters what your relationship is supposed to be. It alters your relationship in a way that it's not what it was. It's not what it was meant to be. Now it's up to you to decide, to take control. Do you want to continue this knowing that this is his flaws? if he keeps on telling these lies, if he cannot be open and honest and straightforward with you on fundamental issues, then there is no harm and there's no foul in walking away, because in the end, you don't want to live a life where, oh well, let me just manage, and then you're, for the rest of your life, you're miserable with this person, and this person is lying about certain things. If he can't be straight with you about this, he's informed you, like you said, you've talked to his parents are aware, and they're not happy about it, and he himself keeps telling you he's going to change, and he does not change, then you might have to consider the option of walking away. I'm not telling you to, because like I said, I don't know the degree of the relationship. I don't know how you have to consider this. But before you do this, have a one-on-one conversation with him. Sit him down. Express to him exactly how you feel. And even if it has to be, look, if this thing continues like this, then we might have to consider parting ways. You have to let him know, because in the end, it's your happiness that is at stake. In the end, it is not his parents or your parents that are going to live in that home with you. It is you and him. And if it's something that you cannot live with or tolerate with for eternity, till death do you part, then you might have to reevaluate where you stand in this relationship.
Okay, thank you, sir. But in terms of calling him one-on-one, I've done that well before I even call the parents.
That's what
keep telling me you will change, that you won't change.
That's the thing.
Underlines will come up.
That's what I'm saying. It's not about change. Change is not about saying you will change. Change is actually, it's actions. Actions speak louder than words. Now, what I'm saying is, you've said this severally. Now, for the benefit, I don't know, depends on you. Like I said, it also depends on you. If you have exhausted every means of trying to reach out to him, talking to his parents, and he still isn't changing, then you might have to, like I said, walk. But if you love this person and you're willing, you still have feelings for this person, you can give it one last try. But if you've exhausted every option and you honestly don't feel the same way and things aren't changing, there is no point remaining in a relationship and you feel miserable when things are not working out. There's nothing wrong in conflict. My father says this all the time. A relationship without conflict cannot, is not a relationship. You must have conflict. You must have points where you don't agree on, and there's nothing wrong in confronting this conflict if he's not willing to work and change himself, because change comes from within. If he's not genuine enough to change his actions and his attitudes, then you might have to consider taking action for yourself, for your own self-preservation and your own peace of mind. If it means you have to walk, maybe you have to walk. If it means you have to be separate, maybe you part ways. Separate yourselves. If maybe he needs time to grow up or change or be the person that he wants to be or be the person that he should be in your life. But if this isn't, I'm not saying stick around. I'm not saying, well, you're going to change him. You can't change a person. You can't change a person. You can't change them from who they are. And if this is who he is, if this is his true self, then it doesn't rhyme with your own spirit. Walk away. Okay?
Thank
All right.
you.
Okay, then. Thank you so much, then.
Good night.
All right, then. Have a pleasant evening. Take care.
Thank you.
All right. This is still Human Rights Radio, 101.1 FM, and this is Heartbeat, and my name is Bucci, and like a deck of cards, I am your Jack of Hearts. Tonight we talked about how do you know if he or she is the one. Let me take this call, and then we might just have to round up on the program. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. Good evening. Favor, welcome back.
Thank you very much for the advice.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I hope it's been helpful. I hope it's been helpful to you.
Yes, thank you.
All right. Okay. Talk to me. What's up?
Please, can I request for a song?
Can you what?
Request for a song.
What song is that? Let me see if we have it. I'll talk to my producer and we'll see if we can cue it up.
Okay. It's John Drove All Night.
Celine Dion Drove All Night. Okay, I'll talk to my producer. If it's on the system, we'll queue it up for you, Favor. Is that all right?
All right, thank you.
All right, Favor. Thank you so much.
Bye.
All right, have a pleasant evening. Yes, this is still Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM, and we are about rounding up and winding down. But in the spirit of the new year, I will try and take maybe one or two more calls before we call it a night. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Good evening, my brother. What's your name and where are you calling me from?
My name is Christian. I'm calling you from Katampe.
Christian from Katampe.
Yes, sir.
All right, how's Katampe this evening, my brother?
I'm very full of God.
Pardon?
I think Katampe is full of God.
All right, that's awesome. Now talk to me. What can I do for you?
Sorry, I'm the person of when I'm listening to from my
Hello? Sorry, my brother, I can hardly hear you. Can you speak up? The line seems to be a bit break. It seems like it's breaking up.
family man concern.
All right, okay.
Yeah. So honestly, based on when I have a wife, so my wife she couldn't to listen to me like that. What she happens to do something that is wrong.
Okay.
Instead of us, instead of us to please, you couldn't to be accepted on that. Unless I will be the one when my quarter has finished. After I will not see and come back and I'll please her again.
Okay.
Then later we can now realize before she will not stand and be talking with me in a very plain matter. And I will have an issue with her. And I'm not decided to send her away. But two are parents, especially my father-in-law.
Okay.
And I used to tell her, I buy things for her, but it's not her to be taking care of this. And let her to be there as other women moving out. She put it, when I talk, she says, after all, no one to look after her, then apart from it. I said, yes, I know. But I want to do this because you should take it out of this share. Because now when you come up from look and now people may be speaking and each person what he's going through. Then I prefer that myself to be looking worker than you. Because it will find your parents will make you think that I'm not taking care of you. Before when you are in your house, you are not longer being like that. But it's not that like I'm not defying for you. I'm always longer to be practice as a possibility. Because I've not taken you to your parents. Your possibility be in my head. If you're supposed to do what your parents make you see it tomorrow, you'll be appreciated. You will welcome me with a full confidence mind. When I speak this to her, it will be started, moreover, to be challenging me. She will now walk the rest for me. I don't know what I can do.
Okay. You're a family man, you're married. How long have you been together?
Honestly, when 8 years.
Hello?
8 years.
8 years. 8 years.
Yes, sir.
Okay. The thing is, whenever you've been together that long, especially in a marriage, sometimes like what they'll tell you is that in a marriage, it's always sweet in the honeymoon phase. Then there gets to that point where it seems like there's endless quarrels, especially when a few years have gone into the marriage. It doesn't seem like two of you are rhyming or seeing eye to eye, and might even consider, we'll go your way and I go my way, because things get a bit difficult. But then after that time, it becomes a period of acceptance where you know this person knows you, you love each other, and you accept things. Now, it's always very important to be tolerant in a relationship, especially a marriage which has children, and as time has gone in. But it's also very important to also communicate openly. Now, like you said, you've spoken to her parents, you've done everything you can, and sometimes it just seems like she's talking back to you, and it doesn't seem like the two of you are on the same page in certain issues or on certain issues. Now, the truth is, you just have to, for now, the best advice I can give you is you have to just keep working on it. And if there's some sort of guidance counselor, maybe some sort of a parent or an elder that she responds to, if it's a pastor or an imam or even an elderly person that she responds to, you might have to meet this person. There's no harm and there's no shame in meeting this person and talking with this person to help you or help her see where you're coming from, when she's coming from. Now, when you argue, like you say, you argue and maybe she's in the wrong, but then sometimes you just come back to try and create that peace. Now, in those times like that, when you try to come back and create the peace, it's not about just, let's forget about everything and let's just try and be happy. No, you might have to just sit down and address the issue. You know what? Instead of shouting at each other, now that cooler heads have prevailed, let us sit down and let us talk constructively. Let us talk constructively. Not about criticizing, this is what you did and this is what I did. Let us talk. Let me understand where you're coming from and you understand where I'm coming from. In those kind of situations, you listen more to that person. Try and understand and see where the pain is coming from, or see where the hurt is coming from. Or even when you involve the older person or an older couple or parent, or that voice of authority that you yes, can you hear me?
Sorry, I have a story that is giving me one. I have involved a lot of people.
All right, okay.
This matter.
Okay, no, that's where you shouldn't involve a lot of people. That's what I'm saying, because in the end, it's still a marriage.
I took our first, one of our first members, I is a leader. We took our first, to try to set up people through. But honestly, the way she's talking, she's shaking her head. It's not the way she has been longer with me before. Because we married like 2 years, we have never even get almost a headache problem between men and she.
That's how I understand.
I don't know where the angle the problem is coming from.
That's why it's on you as the man and as the head of this family and the relationship to actually try and dig deep. You might have to just do it. Even if it means two of you traveling and going away together, if it means going away together, taking yourselves out of this home life or the home situation, if it's to travel together, if it's to spend the night in a hotel room together, sit down and actually, away from family, away from friends, just the two of you, and try and reconnect on that level that you used to connect, on that loving level. Try that. Try changing the environment, and also try a different approach. Instead of going at this the same way, try a different approach. Try talking to her from a different angle, and also not just talking, also listening. Try and find out what it is. If there's something in there, try and find out. Let's talk it out. There's always you cannot fathom, or you cannot excuse or put aside the power of actually communicating and talking. And like I said, conflict is part of a relationship. So embrace it. Brace up for it. Talk it out and find that common ground so that the two of you can be happy and move forward together. It happens in a marriage. Marriage is not 100% smooth. It's like a wave. Sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down, it dips and then it gets up again. It moves in a wave. It moves in a wave pattern. That's how relationships are. This might just be one of those downslope periods. But if there's still love and there's still commitment between the two of you, this phase will pass and things will get better. Okay? Oh, looks like we lost that call. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, and that concludes tonight's session of Heartbeat. I want to thank my producer, the lovely Queen Jane, for being out there. I also want to thank Yemi Baba K in the server room, and Mr. Chike in the visual department for streaming us live and making me look this good. You can actually log out to our social media pages, whether it's Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. Like, subscribe, follow us, share. Just join us out there. Leave your comments, your thoughts, and thanks for being out there. Thank you to everybody who called in to share their thoughts, to share their thoughts and their experiences, and also to give their own comments on situations. I thank you so much, because without you, there is no us. Of course, my name is Pucci, and like a deck of cards, I am your Jack of Hearts, and I'm wishing you a pleasant evening. But always remember, there's only one very important thing in this life, and that is to love and be loved. Good night.